Squid Game is one of the saddest shows ever made, but it's not just the games that are sad, it's the people inside them. Today we're ranking the players by pain, how much they lost, and how much they had to hide, starting with one who almost disappeared before the game even started. He called himself Thanos, a rapper from Seoul. He placed second in a national tournament, almost made it big, almost. Then he followed a YouTuber into crypto, 500 million won, gone overnight. The coin was a scam, and the dream turned into debt. 1.19 billion won, no way out, no future, no voice left to rap with. So he walked to a bridge, ready to jump, until someone stopped him. A stranger with a game, a slap, and a card. Thanos joined the Squid Game not for greed, but for redemption, to prove he could still be someone, to make his mom proud. Inside, he found others like him, scammed, ruined, full of rage, and one of them lost everything the same way as Thanos. Namgyu was a club promoter. Drugs, parties, fast money. On the outside, he looked like a walking disaster, but on the inside, he was already gone. He'd lost 300 million won to a crypto scam. Same scam that ruined Thanos. Same YouTuber, same lie, just a different kind of collapse. Namgyu didn't join the game for money. He joined because there was nothing left. No friends, no family, just regret. Inside, he found Thanos. Two strangers, same enemy. Same reason to keep playing. They didn't want the prize. They wanted revenge. But Namgyu and Thanos weren't the only villains with sad backstories. There's someone else. A woman no one ever took seriously until it was too late. Han Minyo said she was a single mom, said she joined the game for her baby.
I have a baby at home.
She told them.
They don't have a birth certificate. I don't even have a name for my child.
But we never saw a photo, never heard a name, nothing. She could have been lying. She probably was, because lying was how she survived. Minyo didn't come in with strength or strategy. She came in loud, unpredictable, desperate to be chosen by anyone. She threw herself into alliances, tried to make herself useful, sometimes by flirting, sometimes by begging, always trying to be needed. And when Deok-soo betrayed her, she dragged him down with her. Because behind every wild move was the same question: will someone please keep me? If her baby was real, then this was a mother who'd lost everything. If the baby was fake, then this was a woman who pretended to matter because she didn't know if she ever had. She died on the glass bridge, screaming, laughing, like someone who finally took control. She wasn't smart like Sang-woo, wasn't noble like Gi-hun, but she didn't flinch. And speaking of Sang-woo, no backstory hurts more when you remember how far he fell. Cho Sang-woo was the pride of Sangmun-dong, top of his class, accepted into SNU, the kind of kid neighbors bragged about like he was already famous.
He went to SNU.
His mom thought he was on a business trip in the US. That's what she told the police, even when they showed up at her shop.
He's charged with forgery, embezzlement, financial fraud.
But she stood there, calm.
I know that my son wouldn't do anything illegal.
She didn't know he was in the game, didn't know he was drowning in debt, didn't know he'd already lost everything, except her. Sang-woo didn't enter for money. He entered to disappear, to die with a lie still holding up. But shame doesn't go quietly. It came out during marbles, during the glass bridge, when he tricked Ali, when he stabbed Sae-byeok, when Gi-hun finally said what everyone else was thinking.
Sangmun-dong's golden child, the genius Cho Sang-woo who went to SNU, why is he here?
At the end, bleeding out in the rain, he looked up at Gi-hun and said the only thing that mattered.
My mother, you have to help her.
He wasn't a villain. He was a son trying not to break the last person who still believed in him. But if you think Sang-woo's story was built on pressure, there's someone whose backstory is way too relatable. Player 96 didn't have a name, no friends, no story, just one choice. In the glass bridge game, he did something unthinkable.
Could I be number one instead?
He'd picked number 16, the safest spot, but then he walked up to Gi-hun and asked for the most dangerous one. It shocked everyone, and then he told us why.
I've been hiding behind people when I got scared.
This wasn't strategy, it wasn't sacrifice, it was someone finally trying to be brave, someone tired of being invisible. But not every player had the chance to speak. Some were already broken before the games even started. Jun-hee didn't come to win. She came because she had nowhere else to go. She'd been dating Myung-gi, a crypto YouTuber, confident, loud, full of promises. He told her to invest.
You told me to buy that crypto. Did you forget?
Then the coin collapsed. He vanished, and she was left with more than debt. She was pregnant, and he knew.
About the abortion. You said that you'd get it.
Well, I didn't.
She entered the Squid Game alone, still carrying the child, still holding the weight of someone else's future, still angry, still scared.
I'll do it by myself since I guess my kid's never gonna know his dad.
When she broke down, she didn't scream, didn't fight. She just curled into herself and whispered.
I'm scared.
She's still alive, still playing, still pregnant, still stuck in a game with the man who left her behind. Not to win, not even to survive, just to make it through with one piece of herself still intact. And as broken as she is, someone else entered for the exact same reason. But she wasn't carrying a little baby, she was carrying an older one. Geum-ja was old enough to remember war. She lived through poverty, stayed married to a man who cheated for years, raised her son alone, helped deliver over a dozen babies in her neighborhood. She'd already done enough. She wasn't supposed to be here, but her son was.
The only reason I'm here is to help my son with his debts.
That son, Yong-sik, had racked up 250 million won. Gambling, loan sharks, lied to his mother about how bad it was, told her he could fix it, but the truth came out in pieces.
He said if I can't get the money in time, they're going to harvest my eyes, liver, and kidneys.
So he joined the game, not to win, to prove he was still worth saving. When the vote came, Geum-ja wanted out, Yong-sik didn't.
I promise you, just this one. And after that, I'll vote to end it.
But Squid Game doesn't run on promises. Later, when they were separated during the Mingle game, Young-il, who saved her, asked if her son abandoned her. She didn't hesitate.
How dare you, sir? He wouldn't leave me, not my son.
And she was right.
I'm sorry. I really didn't.
He plays to redeem himself. She plays because she never stopped believing in him. But not every parent in Squid Game got that choice. Some had to leave their child behind before the game even started. To most players, he was just an old man, smiling, harmless, dying.
The doctor said there's a lump inside my head, brain tumor.
But Il-nam wasn't dying. Not really. He was empty, rich beyond measure, but starving to feel something real. So he built the game. Then he entered it, not to test the poor, to test himself.
I wanted to just feel something, just one last time before I die. And you're not going to get that feeling if you're just going to spectate. And I desperately wanted that.
He laughed through red light, green light, panicked during the night attack, faked confusion in marbles, let Gi-hun walk away, but none of it was random. It was theater, a way to feel alive in a life that had become meaningless.
What someone who doesn't have any money has in common with someone with too much money. Living is no fun for either of them.
He also had a son, someone he spoke about with a quiet, aching pride. But he never called, never wrote, because even with family, Il-nam chose to be alone. He died with machines humming beside him, not voices. And the only person who ever knew the truth was already gone. But not everyone joined to feel alive. Some just wanted the world to see them as they really are. She wanted peace, but she was forced to fight because the world fought her first.
Everything was fine before I told everyone who I really was.
She came out as a woman, started her transition, and her life collapsed.
Mom was always crying. My dad cut off all contact. I was let go from my job.
That job?
I was a soldier.
A decorated staff sergeant, discarded overnight. She fell into poverty, isolation.
And I still needed treatment and surgeries.
Even with 330 million won in debt, she kept going, kept dreaming.
I want to go to Thailand, finish my transition, start my whole life over.
She joined the game not to win, to reclaim something. Dignity, voice, future. Even her body made her anxious.
There are still a few surgeries I'm waiting to get done, so when someone stares, I just feel...
Still, she showed strength no one expected. She voted to continue the games, broke Young-mi's heart, then earned it back with an apology. She trained rebels, fought in a dorm massacre, taught kids how to shoot. Her story is quiet resilience. No speeches, no spotlight, just survival with purpose. But even in her strongest moments, she still whispers to herself in the dark.
I just don't feel quite done yet.
But Yeonju wasn't the only one fighting for a second life. Someone else entered the game with no enemies, just a daughter waiting on borrowed time. He wasn't here for himself. He wasn't chasing money. He just wanted time. Park Young-seok was a gentle artist. He worked at an amusement park, not to play, but to stay close to his daughter. Her name was Na-yeon. She had blood cancer. She needed a bone marrow transplant.
Kid's his daughter. Yeah, well, she has blood cancer. She needs a bone marrow transplant, but apparently they're really hard to get.
Young-seok made her laugh, even when he couldn't afford her treatment, even when he was begging doctors to save her.
Doctor, I'll figure out a way to get the money somehow. I'm begging you, please. Please help me, Na-yeon.
He didn't vanish because he gave up. He vanished because he made a promise to find the money, no matter what. He entered the Squid Game not for redemption, not out of guilt, but because his daughter was running out of time. Na-yeon was everything. and the world kept taking pieces of her away. So he did the only thing he could. He offered up himself. But Kyung-seok isn't the only one who entered the games to save a loved one. Before the mask, he was a brother. Before the gun, he was a husband. Hwang In-ho was born in 1976, top of his class, one of Seoul's best detectives, the kind of man who gave up a kidney to keep his little brother breathing. He believed in the system until it betrayed him. In 2015, everything collapsed. His pregnant wife's liver was failing. He begged for help, but there was no time and no insurance. He took out illegal loans, risked everything, and the force fired him for it. She died before he could save her, and the system that trained him threw him away. So he turned to the game, entered as player 132, won. But the prize came too late. The money couldn't bring her back, and the guilt didn't fade. It hardened. He didn't just join the game, he became it. But In-ho wasn't the only player who returned to the games. Gi-hun wasn't always like this. Once he was proud, a factory worker, a father, a husband.
Worked at Dragon Motors, Assembly Team 1. Company laid you off 10 years ago.
He tried to stay afloat, opened a chicken shop, then a snack bar.
Both of them failed. You're working as a chauffeur right now.
That's when the spiral began. He started borrowing, started gambling, started lying.
160 million won owed just to loan sharks, and you owe 250 more to the bank.
They threatened to take his kidneys, his eyes.
If you don't pay it off by next month, I'll take one of your kidneys. And then, after that, I'll take one of your eyes, okay?
On his daughter's birthday, he stole his mom's ATM card.
My kids is today.
Bet on the horse races, lost most of it, bought her dinner with street food and guilt.
Today's June 8th, 6 and 8, the day my daughter was born.
He hit rock bottom and kept digging. His wife left. His daughter was moving to America, and Gi-hun was still living off his mother, who worked herself sick just to feed him.
I give you everything I made chauffeuring.
We can't even pay your loan's monthly interest off with that.
Gi-hun's backstory is tragic, but it was built on survival. Not every player had that. Some came to die. Ji-young's story is brutal.
Ji-young, your family name? Don't have one, that's it.
She went to prison for killing her father after coming home to find her mother dead. He was a pastor. He prayed for forgiveness between beatings, but didn't pray the day he took her mom away. She got out the same day she joined the game. No home, no calls, no welcome.
Someone was waiting at the prison the day I got out. I thought he was a creditor who came to collect my dad's debt, but he pulled out a card. That weird card.
That card wasn't an offer. It was an exit from the outside world and an entrance into the Squid Game. Inside, she met Sae-byeok, someone who saw her, and for the first time, she spoke like she mattered.
I have nothing. You got a reason to get out of this place, but I don't. No matter how hard I thought, though, I got nothing.
She gave her marble away, not out of fear, but love.
You can do it. Don't die in here, okay? And go meet your mother. Go get your brother, too.
Then she smiled, let go, and said the one thing she never thought she'd feel again.
Thank you for playing with me.
But Ji-young wasn't the only one who gave everything for someone else's future. The next backstory didn't matter who you were, it made you cry. Ali didn't come to Korea for a dream. He came to survive.
Came to Korea to make money, Sang. I needed money. I came for that.
Back in Pakistan, his whole family was waiting. His mother, his father, his siblings.
Pakistan. Got my dad and mother and siblings there.
But here it was just him, his wife, and their infant son.
I still had to take the wife and baby with me here. He's a year-old boy.
He found work in Ansan, 12-hour shifts, no contract, and no pay. For 6 months, his boss pocketed everything. Ali lost 2 fingers to a machine. Still, nothing.
Sir, stop. Pay what you owe me now. Look at what working here did to my body, sir. I couldn't afford the hospital either.
It ended in an accident. Ali didn't wait to see what happened next. He grabbed the cash and ran. Then he handed everything to his wife.
ये पैसे लो और जितना जल्दी हो सके फ्लाइट टिकट बुक करके बच्चे को लेकर घर वापस जाओ। मैं अपना काम खत्म करके घर वापस जाऊंगा तुम दोनों के पास।
That job was Squid Game. He entered to win, not for himself, for them, but he never saw them again because someone he trusted, someone he called Hyung, put rocks in his hands. And Ali never made it home. But before we get to the saddest backstory in Squid Game, we have some honorable mentions, starting with the recruiter. He was one of the first faces we saw, smiling, clean, professional, but behind that suit, a monster made by the system. He once played the game himself and earned his promotion by killing his own father. That execution bought him power, favor, a title, recruiter. Now he lures others in, with bread, with money, with hope, and then he laughs when they beg for more. On the outside, he played games with the homeless, bread or lotto tickets, then watched them lose everything for a crumb of kindness. In the end, he wasn't just a tool. control. He became what the game wanted: cruel, empty, obedient. And when Gi-hun beat him at Russian roulette, he didn't scream. He saw himself and pulled the trigger. But not everyone in his orbit lost their soul. Some kept searching, even when it meant betraying blood. He joined the police to follow in his brother's footsteps, but those footsteps led straight into hell. Jun-hee started looking for his missing brother and found the Squid Game instead. He infiltrated everything: worker, manager, VIP waiter, risked his life for a single truth, and he found it. His brother was the frontman. Still, Jun-hee didn't stop. He sent the evidence, tried to escape, and faced his brother at the edge of a cliff. He didn't shoot, but In-ho did. A bullet in the shoulder, a body in the ocean, but In-ho couldn't kill him. He had him pulled from the sea, hidden, preserved, and now he's back, working with Gi-hun, plotting the collapse, lying to protect the man who tried to kill him. And if Jun-hee is the rebel, the next one, she's the ghost in the machine. She never spoke. She didn't have to. Guard 011 defected from North Korea, abandoned her newborn to survive, hid behind a mascot suit, sleeping in her car, until a sick child, Kyung-seok's daughter, handed her a lollipop. That night, she got the card, not to play, but to enforce. By Season 2, she's deep inside, but every quiet move is rebellion. Season 2, Episode 1, she shares candy with a dying girl. Episode 3, she interrupts an organ harvest. Episode 5, she's caught and cut across the face. Episode 7, alleged to shoot Kyung-seok, but leaves him breathing. She watches over him, the father of that same sick girl. She never speaks, never breaks, but she's still there. But while every other player we saw on this list had very sad backstories, there's none more heartbreaking than the next one. She crossed the border chasing freedom and watched it drown beside her.
My father got shot trying to swim across the border and drowned. Our mother, she was hiding in China, got sent back once the immigration agents found her.
Her family shattered, her brother was taken, and she was left behind with no one to trust.
Where's your brother now then?
In a shelter.
She pickpocketed, scammed, worked for men like Deoksu, then left them all behind for a chance to win something real. Not just the money, a future.
Our mother's stuck in the north right now. I said I'd get her once I was able to make enough money, and I'd get us all a house.
She only cared about one thing: her brother.
How old is your daughter?
She's 10.
That's also how old my little brother is.
He was all she had left, and all she wanted was to give him something normal.
Go get your brother too, and go to Jeju Island.
Sae-byeok fought for her family, but the game didn't let her finish. She made it to the final 3, bleeding, broken, and still more human than anyone left. But what if she didn't die? What if Sae-byeok made it to the end? Click the video on the screen to find out how everything would have changed.